Lounging with John. Glad to be here with you guys. Also, we are streaming on a couple other platforms as well. And exactly what the title says, uh, setting the bigger picture for a better future tomorrow. And I want to talk about that a little bit because I think that, when you have a real story that you can share with people that will show improvement, that will say, hey, if he can do that, I can do that. If she can do that, I can do that. And I think the problem is, one of the problems is we always look at the little bitty things and we might look at the big picture and say, man, that would be nice. And then we just kind of set it to the side a little bit and we gaze at it and we consider those to be dreams. Like, man, only if I could do that. Only only if I could do it. That's not possible. But it would be nice. But the thing is, there's a lot of things that you can do. But are you setting your potential? Honestly, I'm a prime example of turning my life around. Now, I've got a guest with us here on the show. Brandon is with us. And, maybe he's got a story as well. But I'm going to kick this off. And yes, it's been a little bit since we've been on the lounge, since I've been on the lounge. But I've been very busy with college and work and just not enough time. We get 24 hours a day and there's never enough time. But I want to make time because I know that I've shared a lot of stories in the lounge. I've sit in here many a times, and people were here to listen. They were here to hear my story. They were here to listen to the motivational things that I would talk about. And I really want to get that back because I found value behind that stuff. Besides dealing with some of the drama that we've dealt with before, I don't even care about that. I don't even look at that. It is what it is. There's always going to be trolls. There's always going to be drama somewhere. And the only way we let that affect us is if we pay attention to it. So, we just don't pay attention to it and we move on. That's the only way. So, let me talk about the bigger picture. Years ago, when I was still in school, growing up, I've shared a longer version of this story, but I'm going to kind of make it quicker so we're not doing one story for an hour and a half because it was a long story. Brandon, you might have heard that story. I don't know. Anyway, as a child, I didn't accept anything about myself, about my life, about my disability, about who I was, about where I lived, about what I was doing, about the school I was going to. I didn't accept any of it. None. Hold on, you guys. Always when I'm on a live stream. Hello?
It always happens.
What do you mean? Let me know when you're done. I'll check it and then I'll have you do it. But I'm on a live stream, so go ahead and do what you got to do, and then I'll check it and I'll tell you what to pull. Okay, that's fine. What do you mean? Yes. Yep, but be gentle, dude. Yes. I know that. I know that. All right. Crystal, I know that. I gotta go. So, sorry about that. So I didn't accept any. Now Brandon didn't know me back then. Maybe if he had, he could have. You never know. Anyway, I didn't accept.
I don't know. I might not have liked you back then.
Probably not.
If I had known you back then.
Probably not. Probably not. I wasn't a nice person. I just didn't accept anything about me. And the one thing that we all should know right now, if you don't know this, my friend, you need to connect with it and come to reality, because here's the thing. You're always going to be the person that you are. You might change things about you, but you will always be you. And there's certain things about us, no matter how hard you want to change it, no matter how hard you try, it'll never change. And I'm not talking about the things that make you a good person or the things that make you a bad person. All them things you can change. Physical appearance, you can alter it a little, I guess. Sense of humor, you can alter that a little, I guess. But who you really are, you can't change that. So here I am young, and I'm going to take I'm going to start at 10, okay? At 10 years old, I grew up with my mom and my stepdad. My real dad was nowhere in the picture. I'm not scared to admit that. I'm not ashamed to admit that. That was a failure of his responsibility, not mine.
Yep.
And I went to public school. Well, I started public school in kindergarten, and I went for a few years in public school, and then it was found out about the blind school, and that became more of a convenience for other people, and so I got put there. So then I kind of bounced back and forth. Going to the blind school made it worse for me. Because here I am, I'm this kid that did not accept being blind. Did not accept it at all. So in school, was I mean to everybody? No. But did I get in a lot of fights? A whole bunch. Was always in trouble quite a bit. And it was all based on who I was being. This fake person that I wasn't. And so I went in and out of school. In and out, in and out, in and out. Got to hold on, I was reading something. So when you're like that, you don't really care about what really is best, right? You just kind of, who cares? If I get good grades, who cares? Who cares? Anyway, 13 hit. I started partying. I don't mean like partying by going to a friend's house and listening to music and jamming out. I mean partying. I'm talking marijuana. I'm talking whiskey, beer, LSD. Now, I didn't do that like every weekend. Now, the drinking I did a lot of. But the other drug, it was just kind of like, I'm going to try that. Who cares? So, tried going back to school again. That didn't work out. Because, here I was. I wasn't a good student. So, anything that would happen in that school, they'd be like, Johnny, you did it. And the last time I went back, I was 16. Going on 17, and they did it again. And I'm like, no. No. I'm not going to go to a school where I'm being blamed for stuff I didn't do. I didn't really take in consideration of who I really was being. Like, here I am, I'm not a good kid, so they had a good reason to think, oh, well, Johnny did it, right?
Yeah.
So, from 16 and up, and I'm skipping a lot here. If you want to hear my story, you can check out the book that I'm going to be writing, because there's going to be a lot of stuff in there. It's going to be based around that. Anyway, 20 years old, I get a girl pregnant, and that's when I kind of started to wake up. I'm like, man, you got a kid on the way. You got to get your shit together here. It's time to accept the facts of who you are and make it the best life possible. And that's what I did. I no longer went out and partied and all that. We got married because even though I didn't have my dad in my life growing up, other family members, I was taught, you get a woman pregnant, you better damn
You
well
marry
be
her.
responsible, and you better marry her, and you
Yep.
better take care of your kids. And let me tell you something, folks.
Yep.
I did exactly that. I'm divorced today, but I stuck it out until my kids were old enough to very well understand. Had my daughter, and then we had a son. I, didn't live in Indiana no more. Started out, ran a business. I've done so much of that, just all the way up. But once I had kids, I knew it was time for me to reality to sink in.
Reality check.
Now this new title that you're seeing, this came much later. It came in 2015-ish that I said, I'm not giving myself 100%. Staying at home and being a male and staying home and feeling like I was doing both sides, like I needed to be even though I wasn't married anymore in 2015, I still felt like I could do a lot more, but I wasn't giving it 100%. And I finally said, you know what? This ain't good enough. So I started looking at the big picture, looking at the things that I really wanted to do. And I'm going to describe that to y'all because I'm going to tell you right now, that big picture has been completed. And now I've got another big picture in front of me. Well, there's already another big picture set up, and I'm finishing the other one. And that other big picture included going to college, this don't never stop. It's like, hold on, you guys. I apologize. Hello? Come on, I'm live. Will you come on? Okay. Where you at? Are you going to the other store or no? Kroger, JC. Well, they got my other things that you get me. They got the other things that you get me. Yeah, get a couple of those for me. Come. I don't know. Whatever. Well, don't do nothing crazy, but whatever you want to do. Okay. Chris, I don't need a rundown. Okay. I don't know. I know I'm yeah, a drink would be real good. A drink. Uh a drink. All right. That's fine. That is fine. All right, I gotta go. I gotta go. Bye. It's always I gotta give a long description on a simple conversation. It drives me nuts. Anyways,
That's ridiculous.
so I'm finishing my first big picture because we have more than one, people. It's not just we got one big picture and that's our life right there. It is. No. Anything that's big or extreme for you, just because you feel like that it's extreme and that, man, I'd be lucky if I could do that. Look, I went from doing absolutely nothing, having hardly anything, and I turned it all around by changing my choices, going to college, getting my degree in criminal justice, getting another degree in psychology, getting another degree in general education, and now I'm finishing up a bachelor's degree in psychology, not counting my certificates through leadership and all the other things that I've done. These are all things that was on that big picture. It's not as hard as we think, people. You gotta set a path to reach each one of those images on that picture. Each thing you want to do, you set the path for it. You go through the steps, one step at a time, one day at a time, and you'll get through it. And you can do the same thing. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've been through. You can do the same thing. Maybe you've been through drug abuse. Maybe you've been through a relationship with abuse. Maybe your life has been complete hell. I don't care. You can turn it around. And I'm not saying that just because, just because you did it don't mean I can do it. Actually, yeah, it does. That's what it means. That anybody can do it. But you got to apply yourself. If you don't believe in something, you don't go for it. It's like sports. Who's your favorite team, Brandon?
Dallas.
Okay. It'd be like going to a Dallas football game and cheering for the other team. Going against what you really love.
Ironically, some fans do that.
going against the things that you love because you have no confidence. You go for the things that you believe in. I remember, and I might do this again, or it might be in the book when I write it. Have confidence in yourself. What about you, Brandon? You got anything that you've changed about your life that is because of having confidence? Anything big that you've done that you didn't expect to do, but you did it because you went for it?
I just think that, because it's funny you bring this up, because I remember when I was little, like, I always had people tell me, oh, don't say you're totally blind, say you're visually impaired. Well, I'm not visually impaired, I'm totally blind. But I think I used to use that as a coping mechanism to not face the fact that I was blind, because I used to not like saying that I was totally blind straight out to people. Yeah. And as I got older,
I did that a lot.
I just basically, yeah. And as I got older, I'm like, hey, I've got to change this, because, you know, people are gonna know I am blind. I'm not visually impaired.
I mean,
like,
you know, for the longest time, I would tell girls that, you know, that my vision's not as good as theirs, but I can see.
Yeah.
That's what I'd tell them. And I felt like that was enough to tell. But it really wasn't.
And it wasn't, because you're not telling them the whole picture.
And it wasn't fair to them. It's not fair to someone if you can't tell them who you really are.
I mean, it's kind of, it's almost as if you're lying to them about, hey, I'm not really this person, but I am.
Yeah.
I mean, because people are going to find out eventually. And I just basically started saying, hey, I'm just going to straight up tell people I'm blind. And if they don't like that, then that's not my loss. That's on them, because they don't want to get to know me as a person. That's just who I am.
Now, I still believe that, you know, unfortunately there's people out there that judge. But listen, the thing that I've learned, when you go for the things in life that you want, you've got to set beside some of them things that we know. We know people will judge. We know people will point fingers. We know people will laugh.
Yep.
But on the other side of the token, people will congratulate you. People will support you.
Yeah, like, I'll give you an example of that. Flight simming is a really big one for a lot of us, because how many of us go and do it, and then we're just like, well, I don't know, people are going to laugh at us because it's not possible. And we do it, and then people are like, wow, they're really doing it. That's awesome.
I think the thing that helps the most, that helped me, was when you want something and you couldn't think anything negative about it, you put that at the back of the line. Put it at the
very back part of it.
And don't think about it.
Just go for it.
Listen, there are things in life that we will never get. You, me, Brandon, there are things as a person, as your own person, there's going to be something that you really wish you could have, but reality says no. And that's just something that
like driving.
That's just something you've got to accept, and then you replace it with something positive.
Yep. You know, that was another big one for me. When I turned 16, I remember, because all my friends were getting driver's licenses, people were like, well, why can't you drive? Why can't you drive? And it would just depress me. because I was like, God, here I am. I'm 16. I can't drive because I can't see.
Yeah,
And I was just like, well, it is what it is.
you
I just
know,
have to accept it. It is part of me.
we have to. When I was 16, I was driving, being visually impaired. I was driving. I was driving down highways. I was driving down regular
Oh,
roads, 70, 80 miles an hour,
good grief.
not thinking about it because I didn't care. Luckily, I turned my life around for the better because I no longer do that. I don't just jump in the car and start driving.
Yeah, I'd be real concerned if you did
The
that.
the point is, you got to throw out the old, you got to throw out the bad, and you bring in the new. If somebody wants to judge you, make fun of you, criticize you, talk about you, laugh at you, point at you, humiliate you, they're not worth it.
Nope.
Get rid of them.
That's how I see it.
There are people that I wish I never had to get rid of in my life, but I didn't have a choice because they had no respect for me. They didn't support me in any way. They didn't,
They didn't have respect for you as a human
respect me
being.
as a human being, respect me as a friend. It doesn't mean people got to support you in everything you do, but if you're going to be a friend, be a friend. Be loyal, be true. So
Yeah.
find them things in your life that you want. First, stop. Just stop. And think. Right now, I want you to stop and I want you to think about it. And I want you to tell yourself, you don't got to do it out loud. Maybe the people around you, I don't know. But I want you to stop. Whatever you're doing, just stop. Now I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Ask yourself, is this where I want to be? Go on. Ask yourself, is this the life that I want? Because that's your answer right there. That is your answer. And if you say no, I don't want this. Okay, step number 2. Put the frame up of that big picture. Put the frame up and start adding to it. And then each little part of the picture you add to it, you go for something, add another part to it. Go for it, add another part. Go for it, add another part. It's no different than doing the goal setting like I've taught in the past. You start with one goal. So let's talk about this big picture real quick. You got a big picture, and every little thing that you want in that big picture is a goal individually. Each one of them are goals. So the first one, you do the things that you need to complete to reach that first goal. Put in that big picture. Do the next one, the next one, the next one, until you are content. And you don't got to go all out. Okay, you don't got to do that. This, guys, I apologize. I did
This
not
gets
expect to
annoying.
get this many phone calls on a live stream. Hello? What? Okay, well, don't. Okay. You need to take it easy, dude. All right, bye. It could have been a simple text. So you add these things one at a time, and then even once you got all these things together, stay focused on it. Make sure you create a stable frame for that lifestyle. Make it solid. That way it doesn't break on you. That way things don't fall out on you. I promise you guys, this isn't just me doing a live stream just to talk. I'm doing this because this stuff works. And hopefully, I mean, you know, I'm on my last year of psychology, so if it wasn't going to work, I'm not going to tell you to do it. I'm not even going to try to explain it. But I know where I started, and I know where I'm at, and now I also know at the same time where I'm going to be going, and the other things that I'm going to be doing. And all of it fits in with one big picture. Bren, you got any comments about this so far?
I definitely agree with you. If you're not satisfied with where you are in your life and you want to do something to change it, definitely prepare you a big picture and take the small steps to complete it. I agree. One step at a time.
Get up and just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
The way it is today, you got to go for it. So, hopefully, this will give you some motivation. And I'm not saying because I'm blind that, you know, it was impossible, but I hope that you will let that be a motivator for you. And say, well, if he can do it as a blind person, turn himself all the way around and make all these accomplishments, just let it be a motivator for you. And do what's important for you. Obviously, if you have kids, that's important as well. And kids always come first. But so do you. You set your priorities. You stick to them priorities. And then one last helpful tip. You create boundaries in your life. And you follow those boundaries to a T. Some people might not like the boundaries that you set. But if you like them and they're doing you better, then it doesn't matter. But boundaries are good. Don't never forget that. We all, I think, have boundaries that we set. And then sometimes we just let everything cross the line. Well, if they do that again, or if she does that again, or, well, I know I said I wasn't going to do that no more, but, you know, I'll work on it. That's breaking your own boundaries, and you shouldn't do that. Set boundaries, because it's going to make your lifestyle much more solid. So, each week we're going to try to come on here and have a chat with you guys and hope to give some motivational stuff to you guys that you can apply into your life. Don't let anybody bring you down. I don't care if you did do meth. I don't care if you did do heroin. I don't care if you did coke. If you smoked pot. If you shot up.
If you're homeless.
If you're homeless. If you're divorced. I don't care what the reasons are that made your life turn upside down. I believe in you. And if I can do that, then well, Brandon, anything else you want to add?
I don't think I have anything else really to add. I think we've covered it all. Definitely don't let people get you down, and don't put others down if you see others in situations.
Guys, life is getting tougher each day that goes by. It's getting tougher and tougher. And it's time for you to look out for you. And like I said, I believe in everything about you. I believe that you can have that perfect lifestyle that you want. I believe that everybody deserves to be happy. Unless you're a mad criminal, then you don't deserve anything. But
I would hope not everybody's a mad criminal.
Well, in general though, like, you know, there's
Yeah.
some people that do things, and let me say something though about that. You go out and you break the law. Maybe you break into a house when you're younger. You commit burglary. That is forgivable. And you can change from that. The only kind of criminals that I don't forgive are the ones that do awful, awful things. Rape.
Yeah.
Child abduction, child molestation. All them different things. I don't forgive stuff for that. And I know that we're, you know, God's, well, I'm not going to get into all that. But anyway, there's a difference there. But for the rest of you out there in the world, don't listen to other people. Who cares what they say? Who cares if you done drugs? So did I. Who cares if you drank? So did I. Who cares if you didn't graduate school? I didn't. I had to go back. But I did it. I did all of it. So, keep your heads up. You believe in yourself, and I promise you, you'll be amazed on what all you can do when you actually believe in yourself. When you start believing in yourself, you don't need anything else. You don't need someone else to nudge you. So, Brandon, I'm going to thank you for joining us. Hopefully you'll be back here
Pleasure to be
next
here.
week. Every Wednesday, we'll come on here and talk to you guys. Please be sure to leave your comments down below. And to my mods, I know we didn't open the live stream tonight as far as the chat, but next week we will. So, for those of you out there that you know are my mods, I appreciate all of you. Hope y'all have a good night. And yeah, we'll talk to you next week. Keep your head up, people, because it's up to you now to create that bigger picture, to create a better future for you, for your family, for your outcome in life. Till next time, y'all take care.